All right, so essentially we got Marico's rendering, and he's letting us use it to kind of give an example of what we can do in Photoshop. If you press down Alt and do your scroll bar, you can go in and out. You press Shift, you can pan. Okay. If you want everything to go away, you just press Tab. All these little things go away. You press F7, your layer box goes in and out. There's also professional settings. If you press FFF, it'll make it so there's no controls. That's typically how I work, but for the sense of this video, I'm going to show you guys how I'm working. So I'm looking at this right now, and the first thing I'm going to do, I always do this, is step one. I go Control L for levels, always. And I always go ahead and darken this up just a little bit and lighten it up. Because there's always like a little film of gray that is in every drawing. So you take a look. You see the gray? No gray. Gray, no gray. What I would also do to this drawing, I would go ahead and marquee these interior views. What I mean by marquee is this little button here, and I would do specific lighting adjustments so you could see what's going on in there. If you would do it like initially, you would add fixtures in there so that the rendering comes out that there's more light in there. But if you don't, you could always just go ahead and do that. So what I would do next is I see that there's the sky here. I don't think, did you save it as a PNG? No, didn't. So what I would do is I am going to go ahead and crop. So first thing I'm going to do is make a copy of it. All right? And I am going to marquee sky out. I'm just going to do quick and dirty for time. Okay, I'm gonna keep that plane there. All right, and go ahead and delete that. Yeah, it does. He just he didn't save it as a PNG. He just did a JPEG. But just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it. You can press Control D for deselect. I'm gonna go ahead and open up. I think I have a ocean view here. This one looks like dramatic. I'm going to open that up. So I just want to let you know, skies will make your rendering look a million times better. So if you don't have any time, that's the least you could do is just put sky in there and make sure that your perspective is right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not sure if I'm filling that sky because it's dark. One thing one of my professors told me is never put rainy clouds or dark clouds because it's just kind of like saying that you're like in a scary movie, and you don't want to convey to your clients that they're going to buy a house that's haunted or something bad. You know, you always want it to paint like a positive picture. Okay, that's much nicer. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my files here. Let's see, go to my computer, go to my... I'm going to email you guys all these files so you guys have them. Let's see, where is it at? Is that programs, people. So I have all these files, you know, of all these people, right, all over. And the first thing that I'm going to do, though, is I'm actually going to add some trees. A couple of palm trees. Bam. And then since there's white here, I'm just going to go ahead. I don't think there's a load selection on here. Oh, there is. Excellent. So I just selected the load selection. And what I'm going to do is press Control-Shift-I for invert selection. And I'm going to go ahead and press Control-C, Control-Tab. Let's see, where's my thing? Bring that above. going to put some palm trees in the foreground, just so that it's kind of like masking a lot of my stuff. And then what I'm going to do is press Alt. Sorry. So what I'll do is press Alt and click, and what it does, see how it copies it, right? And then I would press Control T, and this would be a uniform selection, so that it changes its scale uniformly. And then I would make sure that it's in back behind of here. Press Alt. Oh, dude, this is amazing. If they built this house here, it would be an oasis for their family. It'd be beautiful. I don't know, something like that. So anyway, and then I would go ahead and make these smaller, right? Because you're dealing with the scale. Oops. Right. Zoom in a little bit. Then I would clip it because it's behind, right? Press V to select because they're behind the plane. And then also what I do sometimes is I go ahead and press Control T, rotate on horizon, stretch them out a little bit, like so they don't all look the same. Okay, so starting to shape up a little bit. This is bothering me, right? So what I do is, oops, sorry. I got all these different palms. I'm going to go ahead and go to my people. I like putting like attractive people in my renderings because like I don't see why you would do something else. So I'm going to put like beach people that are kind of looking out. I want them to be looking out. Or crowds are always good. But one of the main ideas is always to make sure you're painting a picture. Become like you want your rendering to convey a message that people are socializing and enjoying their time. Always. Don't put someone crying or somebody like in a boxing match. Like you always got to try and make it. Dude, my jokes are totally failing. I think we're all okay. So see how like there's somebody pointing. I do like showing people pointing. Load selection, boom. Okay. So what that does, it's selecting what's everything that's within that load selection. If I didn't have a load selection, what I'd do is I'd press W for the magic wand here, right? And I just go ahead and select that, and it should get it. But see how that's missed? I'd press Shift, and then you have to go in there and get it like really, really good. And that's why, like this has already been taken out of Google, and it's already been like prepped. So it's going to save you so much time just using the files that I have, just quick and easy. Okay. All right. And there should be a banister there, but it's okay. I would flip these people, put them relative to scale, because I know that this is, probably 10 feet. Make sure that you, like, this right here would totally make you look like a rookie. So make sure that your people are below the tree lines. Okay. Bam. Okay. it kind of shows you the previews here, and then this is the silhouette here. This is like the alpha channel that's connected to it. They're all Asian. I don't know why I didn't make this thing, but I just like them because they all have the load selections, and typically I put people that are pointing because this would probably be like a broker, you know, trying to sell the house, whatever. Look at the ocean view, etc. Right? So if I wanted to put shadows on these people, right? This is what I would do. Okay. I would first look at where the shadows are coming in. It looks like it is coming in. Is this the overhang here? So it's essentially straight down, right? Almost ish. Okay, so what I'd do is I'd right click here, and I would go and I would copy this file. Right? Press Control U for this hue saturation. Go to darkness. Right? Press Control T, and this is the trick. You have to press Control, and that makes it so that you can change this plane in perspective view. See? So if the sun was way out there, I would put it like this. Put it like this. If it was on that side, right? And then I would press OK. Never forget to put it under your layer, right? And then you could, if you press buttons like your number buttons, it'll change the transparency, right? So that would be more realistic. Maybe like even like a 3. Though you could barely see it, it would be much more realistic if you could barely see it versus a really dark image. And if you wanted to, you could do 2 different themes. You could go ahead and do white or dark here. And you can also do here, Control U, do dark there. So that's also a different theme where you just use silhouettes of people. If you have a really dark scene, I would go ahead and put light white people in. And if you have a really light scene, I would put dark people in. I personally like to put realistic people in there just because that's my style. And that's kind of how I would start to do this. Another thing that I would do is go to Google. It's easy as this. I'd do plants, images, field. I want to do field. Bless you. We get this image here. Save it to the desktop. Save it wherever. And then I am going to essentially grab it, bring it into my scene. And then I am going to make it, press OK, make it much more transparent. And then I'm going to look at what's going on in the foreground. I'm going to stretch this out real fast. Right? Then I'm going to go ahead and go to my level or my marquee tool. And all I'm trying to do really is look at where the silhouette of my building is. see it too much, but I'm just gonna, just for time. I think it's right there. I think this is all dirt, or no, 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 that's your structure, huh? Okay. And then I'm going to go to my image here, delete it. Or wait, no, opposite, sorry. Okay. What the heck? So what I do is I'd open this up, save as, JPEG. Then you could press Control Shift D, or I lost my selection. So essentially I'm just going to select where I think the house is. Can't really see it. What the heck, dude? It's weird that it's a... Oh wait, I think I know what I'd do. Right. Bam. So what I did is I rasterized the image. Notice that I made a couple errors here, so I'm just gonna go to my thing, press select to take away from your selection here. Okay. Press delete. Okay. And then what I would do is I wouldn't do it where it's like this noticeable. I'd actually bring it here, and then I would bring oops. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then the last step that I would do, add a layer, bring it to the top, and then I would press V and hide that real fast, and then I am going to press S for the clone tool. And if you press the two marquees, it'll go up bigger or smaller. And so what's going on is that this thing is kind of like cutting off right here. So what I want to do is I want to actually have this here go like this. Oops, not that crazy. But essentially, you ever see, you're like, how did he get it so that that's too soft. Make it smaller. Okay. You press Alt. It's like, okay, this is the target that I want, right? And then it copies that. So I'm gonna press Alt here and copy all that over there. Okay. Now I'm just going to turn on my palm tree. Voila, my friends. And it takes a little time to kind of get used to the perspective and what you want to do and kind of beautify it. But this is just a quick example. I'll save this for your reference so you could use it or whatever. And I would do the same thing in interior view. You know, I know we're running out of time. It's 9:11. So I probably am not going to go through the interior view unless you guys want me to. I think that we understand the Photoshop capabilities. The only thing I would stress on the interior views, I would put in books. I would put in like picture frames and extra little small accessories that you couldn't find or didn't want to model. The more you do, and the less discreet they are, or the more discreet they are, the better your rendering will come out. So that'll conclude our Photoshop quick little tutorial. And good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys during presentation.